These are the best attack strategies using the new Dragon Duke Epic, the Rocket Backpack, for every Town Hall level. I'll break down each army to help you 3-star any base. Kicking things off at Town Hall 15, we have Hydra Spam, a simple yet strong army that enables us to remove core defenses and even the CC. To start this off, we're going to be using the Giant Arrow and the Rocket Backpack with a few Earthquake spells to snipe down a given area. This is going to allow us to get the core of the base down while also still setting up funneling. So by using those 2 Earthquake spells, we're able to remove the CC and the Monolith in the core. This actually gives us a lot of really good value, as we can use a few rocket balloons to set up a little bit of funneling. The Dragon Duke and Queen are on one side, with the Barbarian King on the other. He has the Snake Bracelet and Spiky Ball that will keep him tanking for a while. The rocket balloons can be used to snipe down air defenses that are exposed, and that way we can have our dragons and our dragon riders followed by the Grand Warden to work in. So while they're working in towards the core of the base, or what's left of it, we've got the use of the Battle Blimp to snipe down the Town Hall, while we have the Eternal Tome and Healing Tome to protect all of our dragons and dragon riders. We're still being healed by the Healing Tome, and that way we're still able to work around. The Dragon Duke is kind of doing his own thing, while the Blimp was able to remove the Town Hall. This realistically allows us to use totem spells to distract defenses like the Scattershot, and that just overall is going to allow us to 3-star quite easily. Without having to worry about the CC or the Monolith, this kind of becomes a bit of a cakewalk where we were able to get through all of the buildings without any issue with how strong this is. Moving to Town Hall 16, we have Root Rider Smash. Unlike other Root Rider Smash armies, this is more of a hero dive with value from the Duke and Queen equipment. Similar to Town Hall 15, you want to use the Queen and the Dragon Duke to set up great pathing for your Root Riders. So this is where we're going to use his Rocket Backpack and the Earthquake spells alongside the Giant Arrow to snipe down defenses like the Eagle Artillery, the Monolith, and the CC. This allows us to set up really good funneling where we then can have our Root Riders actually start to work into the base. Since we've already created a bit of funneling, all we really need to do is have the Warden, the Royal Champion, and the Throwers work in alongside him. You obviously could use a few Super Barbarians in order to funnel the outside as well, but as your Root Riders are working in, an Overgrowth spell should first be used to control the pathing. We want this to be more of like a C shape, so that way we're able to get plenty of value from our Root Riders and our Throwers as they work around. Anytime the Overgrowth expires, since we have 2 of them, we can use another one. As we get closer though to something like the Town Hall or the core of the base, you can then use the Eternal Tome, protecting all of your units as they continue to work around. That second Overgrowth can be used in order to, again, minimize damage and prevent them from going up to those defenses while allowing your Root Riders to still move around the C shape. You have Tome spells that you can use to minimize damage against things like a single target Inferno or maybe Scatter Shots, while using the Royal Champion ability to also clear damage from a distance. You have free spells that you can also use to minimize damage against splash damage defenses like the multi-target Infernos, and this should allow you overall, with enough troops in your Root Rider push, you should have more than enough to easily clear through defenses like it's nothing. And overall, this should give you the easiest path into 3-starring with Root Riders without the need of the Royal Champion charge. As for Town Hall 17, we have the Meteor Golem Smash. With a solid funnel from the Queen and Dragon Duke, you can easily crush bases with this. Now for an attack like this, we can still set up great pathing even if it's in a minimal area, where we can use a few Earthquake spells to snipe down the CC while using the Duke's Epic and the Queen's Giant Arrow. The Duke also has the Angry Jelly, and he also has his passive, which allows him to clear defenses quite easily. The Royal Champion can be used on the other side, and we've set up 2 particularly good funnels on either side. This allows us to then use the Siege Barrack to set up even more of a funnel on the outside, while having the Meteor Golems work through the middle portion of the base. If you notice, we've set up great pathing in this situation where we have an easy lane to work into the core of the base with our Meteor Golems. So it didn't really matter that we weren't able to get a ton of value from the Dragon Duke's Epic. We're able to still push in. We have the Rage Gem to offer increased damage for the Meteor Golems and increased healing for the Druids, while also having the Healing Tome to keep all of that healed up and protected. So as we continue to work around, we can use a revive over with the Dragon Duke. We can use totem spells to distract defenses like the scatter shots and other enemy heroes. And we've also got the CC super minions that are able to continue to funnel on the left side of the base. This overall allows our Meteor Golems to have a very easy time throughout the entire rest of the base and basically easily clear this like it's nothing. And having the damage bonus from the Rage Gem really does help with this attack, so long as you can set up great funneling. And for Tunnel 18, we have the Dragon Rider Totem Army. This is solid, as with both the Queen and the Duke, you can create pathing for your Dragon Rider push. And of course, for this attack, you do want to try and do your best at aiming the giant arrow. But using your Earthquake spells, you can very easily clear something like the CC, the Revenge Tower, and a bunch of other defenses in the core. And then what happens here is you can use, instead of using the Minion Prince, you can use the Royal Champion. This can extend your value because not only do you have the Archer Queen and her action figure, you have the Royal Champion and her Rocket Spear with the Seeking Shield, and the Dragon Duke, all clearing a funnel for your Dragon Riders. And this basically can establish a lot of value as your Dragon Riders and Inferno Dragons work in with the Grand Warden. This basically sets up perfect pathing for your Dragon Riders to work around. You can use an early Eternal Tome and Healing Tome as you continue to work in, and use an Overgrowth spell over a high damage area like the Air Bombs. Otherwise, as they continue to work around, you've got things like the Totem spells to redirect damage against things like the air defenses away. And you can use the Revive spell on your Dragon Duke to continue moving. This is just so unbelievably strong. So once that Overgrowth expires, you have a ton of different Dragon Riders, you have Inferno Dragons alive, you have the Dragon Duke alive. You can very easily crush bases. And as long as you have some leftover remaining spells, it should be no problem to easily crush bases with Dragon Riders, so long as you can get the value from the Dragon Duke and Archer Queen abilities. But otherwise, it's an incredibly strong attack that I recommend giving a try. Hopefully this shows a few armies that can meaningfully take advantage of this trick, and with more experimentation, even more armies might be able to use it as well. If you're interested in Dragon Riders without the new equipment, check out this video, but YouTube says this is the best for you if you want to keep watching my content.